Hey folks, welcome to the David Glenn Show. Welcome back to the North Carolina Sports Network. We're coming at you from Charlotte, North Carolina at the ACC's annual basketball tip-off event. An old friend and a familiar face, Kevin Keatts of NC State, is joining us. Believe it or not, he is in year 7 with the Wolfpack. Coach, as always, thanks for joining me on all my platforms. Would I surprise you as you're just getting to Charlotte if I told you you are the 5th longest tenured coach in this 15-school league? Does that surprise you?
You know, it will surprise me because you think about a couple years ago, you know, we had some really good coaches who decided, obviously, they wanted to make a change. They wanted to enjoy their life outside of basketball. So saying that is tough, and I don't even know who the 5 are. I would guess.
I'll give it to you real quick.
I'm going to say Tony Bennett.
15 years.
Leonard Hamilton.
22 years.
Let me think about who else am I
2 more.
missing.
One is 14 years and the other is 13 years. Both longer than a decade.
Tony, Leonard. I'm going to cheat right
Leonard's
here.
first, Tony second, Brad B, Jimmy L.
Brad and Jimmy. That's right.
That's a long time. I mean, 7's a long time. If you could talk to year 1 Kevin Keatts, all that success at UNCW, but I'm pretending I'm hitting like a hyperspace button,
sure,
and you're talking to your younger self, taking a difficult, challenging, but a job that's filled with history and tradition and a wild fan base. What would you say to that younger version of yourself?
Well, I would just say just continue to grow and be able to be a little bit flexible with change. Even you think about 6 years ago, things were completely different. And one of the things I've always said is, players change, coaches have to adapt. They have to grow to that new situation and bring energy every day. Like, approach the job as though it is your first year. I think that will get you through.
We have this unique situation in North Carolina where we have 3 programs that have won multiple NCAA titles. I live in North Raleigh, so they're all like a 30-minute drive from my house. People in other parts of the country can't believe there's 3 programs like that. What's the best way to describe? Has your world changed because that guy Roy Williams is not at Carolina, that guy Mike Krzyzewski is not at Duke? Because obviously Hubert Davis and John Shire are competitors too, but you were going against super heavyweight legends, and now you're going up against a couple of younger guys.
I don't think my world's changed. I think you got 3 really great programs, and when you think about NC State, you think about our championships, and then obviously Carolina and Duke. I think the programs are still there. Yes, they've lost a couple Hall of Fame coaches, but they have great tradition in basketball and recruiting and everything else. So I think you still have the natural rivalries. I think it's still exciting. I think that those 2 guys are really good coaches also.
I feel like I've known you a long time, and I'm embarrassed that I've never got to brag about you this way and ask you this question. Coach Keatts in Virginia in high school was both a star quarterback in football and a star, he's more famous for being a former star point guard all the way through the college level. Is it, just for a fan out there, are there a lot of parallels to the challenges of being a great quarterback and being a great point guard? Because I see quarterback even more complicated with pass protections and safeties and, blitzes and all. I mean, point guard's hard, but it feels like quarterback's even harder or more complicated. How would you break it down?
I think they are very similar. People look up to them. They watch, I was a point guard, they watch what you do. You're kind of thrust into a leadership role whether you want it or not, playing quarterback. And to be honest with you, I couldn't wait for that to be over. I got tired of taking a lot of free hits and not getting anything. Back then we needed NIL for those hits I was taking. But I think when you look at both positions, you're in a role where people expect more from you. Both positions, you have to know everybody's position on the floor or on the field. And I think that's one of the things that's helped me in my coaching career.
Another thing that's helped you, we've talked in the past about how you are more easily adaptable to this transfer world because of your Hargrave Military Academy experience as a successful prep level coach. Last I checked, you have 7 out of 13 scholarship players that are major college transfers. Remind us how far into practice you are, and at what point can you see, for example, a year ago at this time, you probably knew deep in your heart Jarkel Joyner and DJ Burns were going to really, really, really help your team. Is it too early for some of those early conclusions, or where does that stand with the 7 transfers?
Yeah, I know it's been well documented about my days at Hargrave, and I was so used to, even though I didn't love it, having a new team every year. And now it seems that's what it's going to be in college basketball. Trying to compare this team to last year's team is a little unfair. At this time, we had taken a foreign trip. We had 10 extra practices. We played a couple good teams in Bahamas. I would say last year's a little bit ahead. We've kind of had to try to accelerate a little bit with this group of guys because we didn't have the opportunity to practice extra. And I did know. The leadership that Jarkel Joyner showed in Bahamas was completely different than, teaching these guys now. And so we've got to catch up, and we don't have a lot of time. I think one of the things the coaches will say is we're excited about November 6th, but we wish it was November 16th. So we get a little bit extra week just to, with the new transfers to be able to kind of blend everybody together.
As I fill out like my preseason media 1 through 15, I often think guards first.
Yeah.
Jarkel Joyner's a guy I'd like on my team. He's gone. Terquavion Smith is a guy I'd want on my team. He's in the NBA.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about who's going to be in that backcourt, or is that even too early to tell?
It's too early, but you will like – I'll tell you the guys that will remind you of a Jarkel Joyner and a Terquavion Smith, who were tremendous players for us. DJ Horn has that ability to score the ball very similar to those guys. He's probably the closest to those two that you're going to see. Short-term memory, doesn't care about the coach getting on him. He'll miss 5 shots, he'll make 5. So he's that guy. He's a Kevin Keatts type of guy. But we have some really good pieces. When you think about Michael O'Connor, who transferred from Stanford, who, by the way, graduated in 3 years. Tremendous player,
from
great
Stanford.
person, really good leader. A little bit more traditional point guard than I've had in a while. More so run the show, get everybody involved, knows how to play. He's going to be a really good player for us. And then, Jaden Taylor from Butler, who averaged almost 13 points a game. We recruited him when he went into the portal, had an opportunity to play against him at Butler in Bahamas, but he's also going to be a really good player for us and do some good things. And then you had guys like MJ Rice, who had a limited role at Kansas, who's going to be a sophomore who can play the guard spot.
Former McDonald's All-American.
Absolutely, former McDonald's All-American. And then I got 2 guys who got beat up last year by Jarkel Joyner and Terquavion Smith, and Breon Pass and LJ Thomas, and we hope that experience that they had in practice will help our team.
Kevin Keatts is the 7th-year head coach at NC State. I feel bad. I should have said this when you first joined me. 23 wins last year, and, of course, a trip to the NCAA Tournament, which is the ultimate platform in this great sport that we all love to follow. I can't remember if I shared this with you. A place where you've had tremendous success, UNC Wilmington, prior to your arrival at NC State. I've been teaching sports media classes there for several years. It's been incredibly rewarding. I'm around young people the way you're around young people and teaching different things. Serious question, because you deal with the media generally on a regular basis. If you were talking to my college students, what values do you appreciate? And I'm sure you have members of the media that you like and respect, things that are done and said that you think are inappropriate or whatever. From a coach's perspective, what would you say to my media students?
I would say to your media students is to be true to yourself and who you are, and be fair in what you ask. Obviously, don't try to embarrass anybody. Try to get to the real answers. Listen. Ask good questions, be prepared.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of folks struggle with is they've got an interview, they don't do their homework on who they're interviewing, some stuff that's already been said or documented, they tap in on, instead of, hey, get some questions that, maybe come with something a little bit original that, no one knows, and, try to find out as much, because you got a listening audience that wants to know as much new information as you can give.
Students, not everybody's going to hit Coach Keatts with the former quarterback, former point guard question, right? Coach, if they don't put the word preparation on their final exam, they fail the class.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of other stuff, but preparation matters in basketball. It matters in our job description as well. All right, as we get Coach out of here, we have something called the Lightning Round, Coach. One of our sponsors is the Oak Scratch Kitchen Restaurant and Bourbon Bar right there on Lake Boone Trail in Raleigh. Great place to go for dinner if you're on your way to a Hurricanes game, a concert, or, of course, a Wolfpack basketball or football game at the stadium complex there. Real quick answers. We live in a great state, one of the only states that has beach houses, lake houses, and mountain houses.
Yes.
How would the Keatts family prioritize those three? What would be first, second, third?
Oh, beach. We're beach, beach, and beach. We don't have to go to anything else. We love the beach. We enjoyed our time in Wilmington. Loved the complete state. My kids would not like to go camping because they'll run if they see any type of net or bug or anything else.
The Keatts family is a lot like the Glenn family.
That's right.
Favorite vacation outside the USA over the years?
I mean, I'm a Bahamas guy. I've played in the Battle for Atlantis, I think 3 times. I've been on 2 summer trips. My family gets tired of me saying, I kind of trick them and say, hey, where are we going on vacation? And they say, we don't know. And I said, let's just go back to Bahamas. Yeah. So.
Favorite bands or musicians, either as a younger guy or all the way through today, that whoever comes to mind?
I was a Michael Jackson guy. I like listening to it. I actually was kind of cool back then when you could put on the glitter, and I remember still in my grandmother's white glove at the time thinking I could moonwalk and all that stuff.
How does it work for a college basketball program? Is there a player or a staff member who picks music in certain settings? Does the coach get involved in that, or do you just kind of defer and go with the flow?
I've kind of changed on everything. It's completely up to the players, what they listen to, and I've had to learn a lot of different rap music over the last few years.
You don't have to hit all these, but is there an author who comes to mind, an actor, an actress, an artist, anybody who's been impactful to you personally?
I enjoy watching Denzel Washington. I mean, he is amazing. If you can, I can go through Netflix, and I'll look for a movie by Denzel Washington that nobody know about. I just want to watch. I think he prepares. I think he's one of those guys that goes off script a little bit.
Yeah.
He is really talented.
And the last thing for you, our main sponsor here at the North Carolina Sports Network is the North Carolina Pork Council. I don't know your eating habits, but do you have a favorite pork product? You know there's the Eastern barbecue versus Western barbecue debate. Of course, you got pork chops, you got bacon, you got other alternatives. Is there a favorite pork product?
It is so hard to turn down bacon.
Amen.
I mean, you can have bacon with everything.
Had it this morning.
We were at the fair the other day, the last night of the fair. I took my youngest son, and it took everything I could. They had a bacon with some syrup on it, not to get it. I didn't get it, but bacon is the best. And when it comes to kind of dressings and stuff, I'm not a vinegar guy. I kind of.
Okay. So you like Western better?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
I don't think you're alienating the eastern half of the state by saying that.
When I say better, doesn't mean I don't like the other part. But I'm telling you. But above all of that, just give me bacon.
Last thing I forgot to ask, Cam Woods, the whole NCAA transfer waiver, I assume there's nothing new. You're just kind of in wait-and-see mode on that, because he's a guy who was all CAA a year ago and could help you if he's eligible.
Good, very good player. It's going to be a very good player. We're very hopeful that he has the opportunity to play this year. If not, we know we have him in the program. We are waiting to hear back from the NCAA.
I lied. One last thing. When you're in a stressful mode as a head coach of a prominent program, where is the place of peace that you go so that I know you love this game, you love your job, you love impacting young people, but we all have those moments, man. Where do you go to get through it all?
I'm a music guy, or you'll catch me I may drive down to the beach just to get the breeze. And I may not be on the beach.
Okay.
I may be just down there just to get the smell of the air and just to get away a little bit.
Next time you're in Wilmington, King Neptune Restaurant.
It's
there.
great.
You know it?
Oh, I know it.
That's another sponsor of ours.
Well, we go to King Neptune, and I don't know if these guys are sponsored, but right beside it, they got the great ice cream
Jimmy's?
place.
Oh,
That's right.
Oh, yeah. So there's King Neptune, Jimmy's Bar, and then the ice cream place is just another door down. Coach Kevin Keatts,
thank you.
Great to see you again on the David Glenn Show and the new North Carolina Sports Network. We'll be back with more guests after this.